Good morning. Well, we started off positive, but it seems like the bulls are taking a bit of a breather on Dalal Street as of today. You have the Nifty 50 that started positive, but it's now trading with cuts of about 0.3%. It's still holding above the 17,300 mark. And just to put things in perspective, over the last few trading sessions, you've seen a very clear rotation from the broader markets, from some of those small cap and mid cap names that have run up significantly into the large cap names, the likes of Reliance Industries, really propelling the Nifty 50 and in fact the benchmark indices, both of them much higher to record highs in fact. But you're seeing just a tad bit of tepidness creep into the markets today, a little bit of selling pressure at elevated levels. But just to put things in perspective, over the last month or so, you've seen the Nifty 50, even at this point, even after the kind of dip that we're seeing, and it's a very small dip, we're over 1,000 points higher for the Nifty 50. So it's a very substantial move in a very small amount of time. So a little bit of profit taking could be par for the course. Now, what are the other factors that you have to watch out for and trade today? Among the sectors that are in focus, you have FMCG, you have power, and you have metals that are in focus today, and the banks as a whole are looking just a tad bit weak. Over the past few minutes at least, you've seen a bit of a shift in the advanced decline ratio in favor of the declines. It was even Stevens about half an hour back. But among the sectors that are in focus, like I mentioned, you have the banks that are down about 0.6%. You have FMCG as a pack that's doing reasonably well, up as much as 0.7%. IT is flat. Metals are gaining about 0.2%. Pharma is lower, and well, realty is also taking a bit of a breather after the kind of run that it's had over the course of last week as well as today, rather yesterday. I look at some of the movers on the Nifty 50, and you have the likes of Tata Consumer that is doing quite well among that FMCG group, and you have a few of the steel names also that are reacting on the back of the production numbers that have just been announced. JSPL, JSW Steel from the Nifty 50, looking at some of those production names positively. But ITC, Asian Paints, Britannia, HUL, and Nestle among the top gainers on the Nifty. I've just read down the list, and all of them FMCG players. Titan also, Maruti Suzuki gaining about 0.5%, Bajaj Auto as much as 0.3%, but really not very substantial moves. You have Axis Bank as a top loser, down about 2% or so. Tata Motors down about 1.5%. Sun Pharma, Wipro, ICICI Bank, Infosys, Kotak Bank, all of them losing ground over 1% at this point. What are the other factors that you have to bear in mind? India VIX has spiked over the course of the last week or so. We're currently above 15, and that's indicative of a return of volatility. Almost throughout August, you had it at significantly lower levels, and that's certainly something that's going to affect trade going forward. The other factor, of course, to watch is the capital flows, and you have foreign institutions that net sold in yesterday's session after 3 consecutive sessions of buying, and you have domestic institutions that have continued to net buy. But is this a turning point for the foreign institutions? That is the question. Of course, as far as volume is concerned and turnover is concerned, there's a large contribution from the retail side, from the individual side as well. So that's something that you have to bear in mind. It may not necessarily turn the table eventually, but considering the ownership, it could actually pan out over the course of the next couple of weeks. Of course, technical indicators, a lot of experts are pointing out that the upside is significantly higher. So that's another factor that you have to bear in mind. As of now, today, it seems like the bulls are taking a bit of a breather. We'll have to see whether that continues through the remainder of the session.